The first step is really just having belief in yourself and making sure that you know that there are investors out there that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on this one lead source. So the first step is that just make sure that you believe in yourself and believe that you can do it. And then the other component from a mindset standpoint is that you're going to get people that are pissed off. You're going to get people that are upset at you. And to have the mindset that, well, it's okay that I do that because there is somebody that really needs my help. And if they really need my help, then I'm okay with, to use an out like kissing a few toads to find the prince, right? Like I'm okay with going through some of those issues, some of those people that are stressed out, because when I get that right person that needs my help, that I can service them and do a deal with them, it's worth it. And as investors, when you have motivated sellers, a lot of times a motivated seller wants to crawl up in a like in a ball and in a corner, and they're not going to reach out to us. So we have to be willing and have the heart of a servant. We have to be willing to go out and find them, and then cold calling is a good way to do that. Is definitely role play. We have professional athletes. What do? They don't just go into the game and expect to perform against 40,000 other individuals, right? As an audience, we always see like we want to be the guy that hits a home run, right? But what we don't see is that they showed up 4, 5, 6 hours before the game started and swung a baseball bat, in the case of a baseball player, 1,000 times, and they get all the repetitions in. So how we do that in real estate is through role playing. So I'd recommend role playing every single day and practicing scripts that help you do that, help you succeed, and get you in the right mindset, the right headspace to have the right conversation and help people out. If you have the ability to listen to your recordings, that is every bit as important as role playing, because you get that feedback on how do I sound, how am I making the other person feel. And when you do that, when you listen to yourself, I promise you're going to want to throw up. You're going to feel like you're vomiting in your mouth, right? And it's going to be really difficult. It's going to be really painful. But how you grow in your skill set as a professional is to get that feedback and to hear that. And if you have a mentor, you have somebody that's really good at it, that's a great thing to do, to get their insight and their input and a little bit of coaching for them. And then additionally, if you're managing people, it's a key thing to have the recordings, because now you can listen. And if you have an acquisition team like we do, we have over 5 property buyers that buy for us. We're able to actually listen to the recordings and get feedback from the entire team. So it's a really key feature. It's a real important thing to do, to be able to listen to your phone calls. Good follow-up sequence is absolutely critical. So when I first started out in real estate, I would go to a property, I'd write an offer, and then if they accepted it, great. If they didn't, I'd move on to the next deal. And in real estate, if you're doing your job right, over 70% of your deals should be done through over 30 days of follow-up with the prospect, from the time you send them the offer to following up to get the deal. So that was a huge mistake that I made when I started out, was a lack of follow-up. There's a saying that the money's in the follow-up, and in real estate, that is absolutely true, because you need to be, just because you send an offer to someone on day one doesn't mean that they're not motivated enough and that they're ready to accept it. But let's say in 3 months, they have another life event that happens, something else in their life happens, and now they're ready, they're done. And well, if you're not following up, they may forget your name. They may forget your contact information. So you need to be the guy that's in the right spot at the right time. And the only way you do that is through proper follow-up. One of the things that we love about smartphone is having the text messages and phone system integrated within Podio, because that's our CRM, and having it all there in one source is incredibly useful. It saves a tremendous amount of time for us. It helps with training because we can record things. They have a great dialer system to where we can get numbers, and having one place to have all the data and all the information is really useful it's a really useful thing. Like, I mean, like, we're all tooled out at times. Like, we have so many different tools in so many different places, and it's really nice to not have to have an extra place to go for a phone system, to have it all just right there in Podio for us. Biggest thing that's important in sales is that it's a numbers game, right? So like an auto dialer is really beneficial because you can dial out, hundreds, if not thousands more people during the course of a week because you leverage that tool. And I mean, what I would say is just keep it simple when you're working with an auto dialer. You don't have to do this big complicated thing. Just have a simple process, a simple workflow, and make sure that you're time blocking time each and every day to use it. I think that's one of the hardest parts is to be disciplined enough to actually use the tool. But yeah, the auto dialers are absolutely invaluable to use. There's no question about it. What's interesting is when I got into sales, I came from a teacher and an IT background. That was where my parents. Okay, so I grew up thinking that salespeople were greasy, slick-haired used car salesmen, and like I had to like when I got into it, I was actually even in denial that I was in sales. It took me like 4 years when I was in real estate to admit that I was a salesperson. And what I found is that stereotype is really the exact opposite of what a quality salesperson will do. What a quality salesperson will do is, there's that saying that there's 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? What a salesperson will do will ask the right questions to get to what the pain is. What's the problem? What is the person dealing with? And once you know that, once you dive deep and know exactly what their problem is, that's then how you can help them as a salesperson and help them solve their problem. But you can't solve a problem if you don't ask the questions and know what the heck's going on with them, right? You can guess, and sometimes you may guess right and do a deal, and other times you may guess wrong. But asking the questions is incredibly important, and getting on, and it also helps you build rapport and build trust with the other individual too, because they feel like they're being listened to, and everybody loves being listened to.